Your thoughts?
What? What? Who?
Nice.
Welcome to Friday. Here we go. 9:01, and my sinuses are still killing me. 9:02, but who's counting? CJ Nasello, it's our daily show, RiverBender.com, Roku TV. Anywhere, everywhere you get your podcasts, anywhere you watch this show, thanks for tuning in. We got a great one for you. We're going to be talking to Madison County Board Chairman Kurt Prenzler here in about 20 minutes or so. You know, a couple weeks ago, I had the opportunity to talk to Treasurer Chris Lusser, who's running in the primary against Kurt Prenzler, and wanted to make sure that both candidates had the same amount of time and same opportunity to get everything they wanted to say out, and Chairman Prenzler will join us in about 18 minutes' time. Then at 10:30, we're going to be talking to Loretta Graham. She is the CEO of the Girl Scouts of Southern Illinois. This is a big weekend for the Girl Scouts. Whenever I was reading the article the other day, this is one of their biggest sales weekends for the Girl Scout cookie program. So she's going to join us, fill us in on how impactful that cookie program is for the Girl Scouts, and so much more coming down the pipeline throughout this show. If you want to be a part of it, you can. 618-759-7469, and text me. Let me know what you want to talk about today. We'll take you to top of the hour news first at 9:03, and here's what's happening around the Riverbend. Make sure you sign up for your daily email update where you'll never miss out. You can join myself and over 70,000 people that are in the know each and every day of the work week with the daily email update. We will take you to Jerseyville first. Sad news for the folks in Jerseyville. The Emo's Pizza location in Jerseyville is reportedly shutting down after the owner cited an unstable economy in a recent announcement. The restaurant will offer its beloved community members and customers one last dinner rush, and they did that last night. Co-owners Jenna and Brandon Taylor shared the unfortunate news on Facebook Thursday afternoon. Here's the statement. Hang in with me here, guys. This is a gut-wrenching announcement, they wrote. Today at 8 p.m., after we close our dinner shift, Jerseyville Emos will be closed permanently. This was not an easy decision. Our current economy is not stable enough for small businesses to thrive and is no longer worth the fight. I am physically and emotionally exhausted. I have fought hard for 3 years and can no longer fight. She closed by apologizing to the community, adding that, quote, the love and support over the years has not gone unnoticed. We appreciate every single one of you. We will be open for one last dinner rush, and she posted this yesterday. They are closed. Come say your goodbyes. Jenna and Brandon Taylor have owned the Jerseyville Emos for the past 3 years, following the previous owners, Kathy and Rob Harrison, who owned it for 15 years prior. Several community members expressed their sadness to see the business go. One asked Taylor if she planned to sell the business, to which she responded, the business has been for sale for over a year. Emo's Pizza was located at 1600 South State Street in Jerseyville, and you can find the full announcement on their Facebook page. Dalton Brown also reporting out of Granite City. A man from Granite City has been charged with 6 felony counts, including, quote, armed habitual criminal charge and one more after police caught him selling narcotics out of his residence. He also found to be in possession of multiple firearms, including one that was stolen, and reportedly had an extensive criminal history. Anthony M. Taylor, 55 years of age, of Granite City, was charged with the following counts. Count 1, armed violence, Class X felony. Count 2, armed habitual criminal, a Class X felony. Count 3, possession with intent or delivery of a controlled substance. That's a Class X felony. Class 4, unlawful possession of weapon by a felon. Class 2 felony, another count of unlawful weapon unlawful possession of weapons by a felon, and 6, unlawful possession of stolen firearm. That's a Class 2 felony. A petition to deny Taylor's pretrial release does state that the law enforcement officers received information Taylor was selling narcotics out of his Granite City residence when they discovered firearms and more. Here's their statement. Officers conducted multiple controlled purchases with the defendant and seized suspected cocaine. Officers observed a hand-to-hand exchange for narcotics with the defendant and a confidential source. Officers secured and executed search warrants for residence and vehicle of defendant. Officers seized multiple firearms and suspected cocaine indicative of sales from residence and vehicle of defendant. The petition also states Taylor has, quote, an extensive felony criminal history to include multiple felony convictions for drug-related offenses. It adds that he's currently on federal release for prior drug-related conviction. End quote. According to court documents, some of the weapons seized from Taylor's residence include a Taurus G2C 9mm handgun, a Ruger 9mm handgun, a stolen Beretta handgun. He reportedly possessed these weapons after previously being convicted of unlawful delivery and possession of controlled substances in St. Clair County. More than 15 grams of cocaine were found in Taylor's possession. Taylor's case was presented by the Granite City Police Department. According to court documents, he was remanded to be held in jail until his initial appearance in court. Also in the news, Michelle DeBosque has organized a GoFundMe for a mother and daughter killed when they were exiting a recent Drake concert in St. Louis. Unfortunately, upon exiting that Drake concert in downtown, their lives came to a tragic end when they were struck by a driver. Here's the statement from DeBosque. The family is currently trying to bring them home and give them the best funeral service possible with hopes to lay them to rest amongst other family members. The family is extremely devastated by this horrific tragedy. She continued and said that Letitia Letty Brasio and Alyssa Cordova come from a close, strong family in Chicago. Letty was a hard-working supervisor at Wintrust Bank and a dedicated mother, loving sister, niece, and a cousin. Her only child, Alyssa, was going to college and working part-time for Starbucks. Alyssa loved music concerts, although was old enough to travel to concerts on her own. Her mom would always escort her. The two were inseparable and shared a strong bond. DeBosque closed by saying the following: we appreciate the love and outpouring from everyone in both the Chicago area and in St. Louis. We thank everyone so much for everything. The link to the GoFundMe is available on the RiverBender.com article. Out of Edwardsville, Dan Brandon brings us the latest. Edwardsville Police announced the results of its Super Bowl enforcement campaign. Edwardsville Police spokesperson Lieutenant Brandon Whitaker said the department issued 8 speeding citations, 2 citations for illegal transportation of alcohol, and 4 other citations during the recent Super Bowl enforcement campaign. The Super Bowl weekend campaign, Drive Sober or Get Pulled Over, and Click It or Ticket enforcement effort ran from February the 9th through the early morning hours of February the 12th. The goal was to keep impaired drivers off the road and ensure more people buckle up and follow the traffic safety laws. Motorists should understand that the warning that we are serious about cracking down on impaired driving and seatbelt and other traffic safety law violators. We do it to save lives, said Lieutenant Whitaker. The recent law enforcement campaign was made possible by federal highway traffic safety funds administered by the Illinois Department of Transportation as part of the statewide Drive Sober or Get Pulled Over and Click It or Ticket campaigns. Sydney Sinks reporting out of Alton. Alton's NCG Cinema Movie Theater will have a special showing of Rustin from February the 16th through February the 23rd. The movie serves as a, quote, prequel, end quote, for the Robert J. Ellison Unfiltered Lens photography exhibit at Jacoby Arts Center. Ralph Bo Jackson, Ellison's cousin, explained that the movie will help set the stage for the photos shown in the exhibit. Rustin tells the story of Bayard Rustin, an advisor to Martin Luther King Jr., who played a pivotal role in the civil rights movement and the 1963 March on Washington, where King delivered his famous "I Have a Dream" speech. Ellison's photos start the March on Washington and continue through the civil rights movement into the Vietnam War. It's just like a time machine going back to 1963, Jackson said. You'll see about the injustices that were going on in the segregated bathrooms and water fountains, just crazy stuff. And that kind of helps set the stage for the photos, because then you see why we have all these different protest marches, end quote. Ellison was a photographer who captured several famous images of the civil rights movement and the Vietnam War. Jackson said Rustin helps people understand the division of the country and the famous marches that Ellison photographed. Jackson thanked the NCG Cinema's event director, Jason Mills, who helped coordinate the movie in Alton. Rustin is on Netflix, and Jackson said it took a lot of negotiating to get permission to show the movie at the Alton Theater. He said, quote, "It's just a miracle," end quote, that they are able to show the movie for a week. If there are enough tickets sold, the theater will extend their showing of Rustin for another week. The movie will provide context for the photography display. You can learn more about the Robert J. Ellison Unfiltered Lens photo exhibit on an article on RiverBender.com, and you can find out more about that special screening by going to RiverBender.com/events. It's there waiting for you to view. Also in the news, Sydney Sink's giving us a follow-up. According to organizers, the inaugural Riverbend Wellness Festival is for the Riverbend and by the Riverbend. Scheduled from 10 a.m. until 4 p.m. Saturday, March the 2nd, the festival includes over 30 vendors, keynote speakers, and several workshops that promote mental health, physical, and spiritual wellness. The festival, located at Milton Schoolhouse in Alton, encourages attendees to connect with local resources and learn about ways to take a holistic approach to wellness. Beth Allen and Stella Webb joined us on the show, and Beth had this to say: "We really wanted people to be able to come and find their people, find their community." Beth continues, "We tried to be as well-rounded as possible with the speakers and the vendors so people could shop and do some self-care that day, as well as meet people that could help them on their wellness journey, and wanted to appeal to everybody, families, individuals, couples. It doesn't matter. Everyone's welcome." Allen, who owns CE Allen Counseling, organized the festival with Soul Sanctuary owner Stella Webb. Both women have seen similar festivals in other cities, and they wanted to bring the idea to Alton to share with the Riverbend community. All of the vendors and keynote speakers are local, and there will be a raffle with donations from over 30 businesses. The festival itself is completely free, but there will be a chance to donate to Amare. Proceeds from the basket raffle and 50/50 will also go towards the organization based out of Wood River that provides resources and coaching for people in recovery from substance use disorders. In addition to the keynote speakers and vendors, attendees can enjoy several workshops, including a yoga session, meditation, ecstatic dance, crafts, and more. There will also be a few kid zones available. Allen and Webb encourage attendees to bring their loved ones onto the Riverbend Wellness Festival. For more information about the Riverbend Wellness Festival, you can check it out on the RiverBender.com community calendar or on the official event Facebook page. My apologies. Let's take a look at weather at 9:13. It's 31 degrees. It feels like 24 out there. Today, cold with snow at times, accumulating 1 to 3 inches. Roads and sidewalks will be wet to slushy. Accumulation on unpaved surfaces. Tonight, mostly cloudy. Temperatures will reach 33 degrees today. It looks like they already did. They're going to drop down to 16 overnight as we head into Saturday. On Saturday, brightly sunny skies, a high of 31, a low of 24 degrees. On Sunday, another sun-filled day on the weekend, a high of 49 on Sunday, a low of 26. On Monday, partly cloudy skies, a high of 53, a low of 37. And then on Tuesday, we're getting back to 60, a high of 60 degrees, a low of 36. But let's take a look at that Alton sky cam. Is any snow or rain coming down yet? Let's take a look there. Doesn't look like anything yet. Maybe some snow on top of the buildings. You can see it there on top of the Cracker Factory. A little bit of snow on Mineral Springs. But Clark Bridge is looking great with a cloudy sky today and cars coming in and out of the heart of the 618. You can always see that sky cam in real time by going to RiverBender.com/weather. You know, before I take a quick break, we just started a great partnership with Centerstone, and I mean a fantastic one. I've been working hard for this, and I'm so thankful that they joined up with us to share this important information. Are you looking for a fresh start on the road to recovery? A life free from addiction is possible, and it starts at Centerstone. Centerstone is truly a national leader in mental health and substance use disorder treatment for people of all ages with a commitment to delivering care that truly, truly changes people's lives. Centerstone's dedicated clinicians use evidence-based practices in treatment programs. So this means the recovery care plan developed for you will be based on the latest science. There's so many unknowns on the road to recovery. One thing that you can know for sure is that Centerstone will be a constant guiding force for you on your recovery journey. Addiction can happen to anyone, and so can recovery. Start working towards your recovery today by visiting recoverwithus.org. That's recoverwithus.org. That's Centerstone online, or by calling 1-877-HOPE-123. You can visit them online again at recoverwithus.org or by calling 1-877-HOPE-123. We'll take a quick break and we'll come back with our conversation with the chairman of the Madison County Board, Kurt Prenzler, right after this on RiverBender.com.
When I got in the car accident at the ER, they gave me a prescription of hydrocodone. And over time, it took more medication to mask the pain. I moved over to drug seeking and found heroin and fentanyl. I went to the Centerstone rehab facility, and it was the best decision I ever made in my life. I have my own car, I have a job, there's nothing holding me back anymore.
Dream Home Realty Center.
Hey Sherry, talk to me, Dream Team. We've got showing.
Whether you're a seasoned pro or a weekend warrior, gear up with Falcommit and elevate your hunting experience. From rugged gear for the seasoned hunter to adorable outfits for the little ones, we've got your whole family covered. Literally, because the best moments are made in the great outdoors. And with Falcommit, you're not just wearing gear, you're wearing the stories of your adventures. Discover the joy of hunting together. Visit Falcommit.com and outfit your family for the next generations of memories.
We are Phillips 66 Wood River Refinery. We make the fuels that take us to work and our children to school. We make materials and energy products that allow us to stay connected to each other. We care about the quality and safety of our products because we care about the communities we share. Our employees live our values of safety, honor, and a commitment to act as good neighbors where we live and operate. We are Phillips 66. When life throws unexpected challenges your way, you need a versatile legal ally to protect you. Sean Lentz, with over 12 years of experience, is here to help you in a variety of avenues. From personal injury to criminal defense and even semi-truck accidents, Sean Lentz has your back. Don't wait for the justice that you deserve. Call 618-465-8000 and see how Sean can help you today.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
Welcome back to this Friday morning on the 16th day of February. Chairman Kurt Prenzler in studio as we are just a couple of weeks away from primary day.
That's right, March 19th.
And how are we feeling ahead of that?
Feeling great.
And, sir, this has been one that you've been boots on the ground with, and, you know, we've had so many people a part of the county races joining the show and filling us in, but, I mean, you've had the luxury, in a way, a weird luxury of campaigning as hard as you're campaigning, plus still being county chairman.
That's right.
And take me through some of the things that you've been able to accomplish in the last couple of years, if you don't mind me asking.
Well, the most important thing has been property taxes, and as people sometimes still remember, I was treasurer for 6 years. I lost my first race. I ran against Fred Bathon, and I blew the whistle on what bad things he was doing in the office, and he later went to federal prison for those. But he did beat me in that first race in 2006. I ran again in 2010. I managed to win. I reformed the tax sale process. I reduced the cost of the office by 30%, always with an eye on helping the taxpayer. And then I won again in 2014. And then in 2016, I ran for county chairman. And then I became, in 2016, the first Republican ever to win at large by the people.
Right.
And so then at that point, I appointed, believe it or not, my opponent in this race, I appointed him treasurer. So I guess that's payback. But in any case, no good deed goes unpunished. But in any case, so then I won re-election in 2020. And so what did I accomplish as chairman? The most important thing I did, and I began this on the ground, getting petitions. I have gotten so many people to sign petitions. I think that's almost on my resume in terms of I'm good at getting people to sign petitions. But when I ran in 2016, I gathered 10,000 signatures, myself 1,000, and we put a tax reduction referendum on the November 2016 ballot to reduce county government taxes. Now, this gets into the weeds. Everybody knows that every year they get a tax bill from the county, and some people think that money goes to the county. Well, no, it goes to the school districts, it goes to the fire district, to the municipalities. It's like a layered cake. So before I was chairman, I'm proud to say, about 10% of your tax bill went to the county government. Now it's getting close to 6%.
Wow.
Under 6.5%. And that's because we reduced our levy. The levy is the amount that the taxing district grabs, that they impose. The levy is the amount. And so before I was chairman, the amount was $32.6 million. We reduced it by $1.8 million down to $30.8, and we've kept it there. Now, a lot of taxing, this is a math problem, so I hope everyone's taken their math course in grade school or junior high or high school.
I barely passed.
Okay, so basics, what most, I should say, taxing districts do is they keep the rate the same. And then as the assessor tells you that your property is more valuable, and the assessor is generally telling the truth, the taxing district just sits there with the same rate and they get more money. Okay. What we did in the county was different. We kept the levy, the amount, the same. We kept it at $30.8 million, and we passed that in 2017. And we did it again in 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. And that's where it's going to be in 24. And so we've reduced our rate from 73 cents per $100 of assessed valuation, all these numbers. Well, we've reduced our rate from 73 to 48, and this year it's going to be lower. So you just don't see that. In fact, on my tax bill, and I would venture to say on everyone's tax bill, if you really do a deep study, which you can do on the internet, on our county website, you're probably paying less to county government today. I would say almost certainly than you did 8 years ago. So, the point is, we can solve this property tax problem, and we do have a property tax problem. But CJ, there's another thing that I have been unsuccessful in getting done as county chairman, and that is, as the county board, we can help with the rest of that layered cake. So you see, we've done a good job with the county government portion, but there's one more thing we can do for the rest of people's tax bill, and that is we can put property tax caps on the ballot. So I thought, as a Republican, when I won in 2016, I thought that the Republicans on the county board would vote with me to put property tax caps on the ballot, and it's called PTEL. It's a little complicated.
Okay.
But the fact is, this is not a revolutionary not a revolutionary thing. They have this in other counties in Illinois, and it's one more tool to limit property tax growth. It's not revolutionary. It doesn't put taxing districts out of business. But what it does is it limits the increase of the levy to the lesser of 5% or the inflation rate. Okay, that's a lot for your listeners to take in.
That's a lot of information.
It's a lot of information. But let me say it helps. And I will tell you that I was called over to another county just recently, about a month ago, but to Marion County in Salem, about an hour east of here. And they invited me over because they had heard that I am a good conservative and I understand property taxes. And that's true. That's been something I've learned. I should be an expert on local taxation,
right?
Having been treasurer and county board chairman.
Right.
And so they were complaining that their real estate taxes on their school district, that they were going up 6.5%. And I said, folks, there were 25 people in this restaurant who were there to hear me. And I said, in Madison County this year, and this is going to shock you, don't fall off your chair. This year, the Granite City School District, they are raising their levy 17.15%. The Collinsville School District, 15.4%. Most school districts in Madison County, Highland, 13%. Most districts are going up from 10 to 12%. I know that Triad and Troy is 7.6%. I know that Roxanne is 5%. I know that Venice and Madison are a little bit less. But most taxing districts, East Alton, Wood River, 10% increase. Not Roxana. Roxana is 5%. But most of the taxing districts, including Edwardsville and Alton, Bethalto, are in that 10 to 12% increase. Well, you know, most people are not getting a 10% increase on their Social Security.
Right.
People are not getting a 10% increase on their salary. And so that's why this PTEL, and so, okay, let me go back to property tax caps.
Absolutely.
I asked the county board 4 times to put property tax caps on the ballot for people to vote on, for the people to decide. In 2018, 2020, 2022, and 2023. And enough Republicans deserted the cause to go and vote with the Democrats that it hasn't happened.
Can I ask what is some reasoning behind that? Do you know of any reasoning why the Republicans? Because you're right. I mean, I would assume too, you know, that we'd have Republicans getting behind this. Is there a reason in your mind that
well,
that happened?
I don't think there's any valid reason.
Okay.
But I think it is indeed complicated, and it does affect different areas of the county differently. But let the people vote on it. I have been told by almost every voter going door to door in the county, I'd like to learn about it and vote on it. And I think that what the county board has been designated by the state of Illinois as the gatekeeper. Only the county board can put it on the ballot. There was a gentleman in Godfrey, I think one of the greatest county board members we ever had. He's not here anymore. Mm-hmm. His name is Gene Frieso. He was, your listeners will remember him. He represented Godfrey from 2000 to 2004. He was a retired bank president, and he taught me a lot about property taxes. A very smart man, a conservative. And he said, keep your eye on the levy. And he said, and he gathered 15,000 signatures on petitions to put PTEL on the ballot.
Wow.
But simply, the law doesn't allow putting it on the ballot by petition. If it did, I could go out, I could guarantee you in a month or 2, I could get 30,000 signatures because people just simply want to vote on this, and the county board has prevented them. So that has made the county board, some of the people on the county board, quite angry at me. Also, in 2022, when we had Republican primaries, and we're in a Republican primary, right. And this year again, I'm supporting Republican county board candidates who are pledging to put PTEL on the ballot for the people to vote on. So we have a disagreement among some people who call themselves Republicans. But my point is, how can you call yourself a Republican if you are against letting the people vote on this? And we've had county board members say, well, you know, I think I've been elected to make that decision. And my response when those people say that, if they say they're smarter than the taxpayer or the voter, I'm thinking to myself, I guess when you got elected, your IQ went up 20 points. And I just don't think that happens. I think that in a democracy, if you can vote on things, that's my position.
Yeah.
And not everyone agrees with me. This will not bankrupt school districts. This will not bankrupt fire districts. And I'll explain. Number one, can you live within the rate of inflation in terms of raising your levy? And number two, if you cannot, you can always have the voters, go to the voters and have the voters increase the taxes. There's nothing to limit that. And in fact, up in the Chicago area, there are, in the suburbs particularly, where they have voted for very high taxes for education. So some of those high schools in school districts in the Chicago area, they do receive a lot of tax money because the people have simply voted for that.
Right.
So, and we've seen that here locally. We saw in November, this past November, a year ago, no, I'm sorry, on April 4th of 2023, we saw the Edwardsville School District, they voted and approved a $100 million bond issue. In November of 2022, the Highland School District voted and approved a $40 million bond issue. Now, there is something called a backdoor referendum, and this is a sneaky way to issue a bond that ends up raising property taxes without voter approval. And this PTEL would get rid of that. And we've seen that in the summer. In July, we saw the East Alton Wood River High School District pass a $2.4 million backdoor referendum. Well, I got out there with others and got 300 signatures, and we needed 820, and we got 1,120. We've seen this in the Granite City, tried to do this right before Christmas. I believe they didn't do a proper job of public notice, and I made that. So I've been involved in local issues. Listen, we have a lot of problems as a country. One of them is the migrants, the open border. Well, guess what? Because our federal government has an open border, we as local officials have to worry about this. And up in Chicago, they've had white buses arrive at suburban commuter stations, and they usher them on the commuter trains, and they go to downtown to Chicago to a landing zone. But because Chicago, in our state, has decided that it's a sanctuary city for illegal aliens, we do have people going in that direction. Now, in I wrote a letter to the editor today about multi-gender bathrooms.
Correct. And this was just at the Edwardsville discussion.
Now, Edwardsville just passed a $100 million bond issue. And on Monday, I received a notice, on short notice, that there was going to be a meeting on this. And this is local. You know, not everything happens in Washington.
Right.
Not everything happens in Springfield. And so I went to a meeting. It was a working meeting of the Edwardsville School Board. And an architect they're planning some renovations in their high school. And the plan is to get rid of 2 single-sex bathrooms that are next to each other and recreate a multi-gender bathroom with 22, I don't know if I got the number right, 22 stalls or something like this, 6 sinks, and okay, this is different. This is the first time, and one of the this is allowed now in the state of Illinois because the state representative Katie Stewart from Edwardsville, whose husband is the principal at Edwardsville High School, she championed a bill to allow multi-gender, more than 2, or all gender bathrooms. Right. This is a new language that we're speaking. And so this was something they were looking at that plan. And this has been done in Minnesota, this has been done in Virginia, but it has not been done yet in Illinois.
And I wanted to ask you more about that because you were at the meeting and all I saw were reports afterwards. In this proposal that they're doing, is, in your estimation, I thought it was just, there was no enclosure, they were just going up to the top, but there's still going to be an enclosed waiting area, correct? I'm trying to figure out because I'm as concerned as a lot are.
It's just different. And as you go, I went to a large public high school, and these bathrooms are big, and crowded, and everyone's in a big rush because you're between classes. And now we're not here to talk about bathrooms today, but it's something that people need to be aware of, and that was my point in writing the letter to the editor, that there are. Particularly, I think parents need to be aware of what's going on. And so this is a very new thing in this country.
Absolutely. And then, getting back just to what you said briefly about migrants, there's no doubt Chicago's a sanctuary city, and there's bus loads going in and out at a lot of portions of the day. And you look at the numbers from the border, it's there. Currently, right now, is Madison County facing, illegal immigration, migrants coming in that could affect us currently?
Well, let me tell you that we're keeping an eye on this with our emergency management agency, and we've always had illegal immigration in this country, but not on an organized scale like we're seeing today. And so I'll tell you that in Illinois has made itself a little bit of a target, regrettably, because I'm going to be fair as fair. Under Republican Governor Rauner, Illinois in 2017 or 2018 declared itself to be a sanctuary state to some degree, that we would not cooperate entirely with federal immigration people. And so I will say that Effingham, so counties and cities have to get involved now.
Right.
This is something we didn't sign up for. And, we always depended on the federal government to manage our borders. Well, it says that in the Constitution. And that's one of the things that Texas has an issue with the federal government. It's like, wait a minute, your job is to protect our borders. And so we see how all these things, even the Ukraine situation, where our military is so focused on Ukraine and supplying Ukraine, and the border's open for crying out loud.
Right. 100%, yeah.
And so it's a different world we live in. 2024, we all knew it was going to be an interesting year.
It's true. That's true. And we're here now. And that's why I was just curious to know if this is something that we're proactively viewing or keeping an eye out for. And it is. And now, is there any terminology or any bill that the county board could pass that could, restrict, let's just say one day Governor Preznler says Chicago's flooded, we got to start moving them down the line? Well,
I've been talking about that beginning of in September of last year. I wrote a letter to Governor Preznler and I said, please inform us. I've written on this before. I've called and spoken directly with suburbs of Chicago. And typically what they're seeing up there is they see these white buses show up at suburban commuter stations. The migrants, they leave the bus, they have guides, they have food, these are organized buses, and they get on the commuter trains, they go down to downtown Chicago, they go to a place called a landing zone. They get a card with money, they get benefits. I don't know all the things. This is so different. And the state of Illinois has, I believe, and people can Google it, I believe the state of Illinois has provided over the past year and a half, 2 years, an astounding $600 to $700 to $800 million of aid in the city of Chicago, and they're hoping to get reimbursed by the federal government. And then I think Governor Pritzker recently said that, well, if these migrants end up outside of Chicago, we've got 17 for the whole state. Now, Effingham County just passed a resolution saying that they will take no money for no federal money or state money for migrants, and they will spend no money for migrants. Right. And we're going to be looking at that shortly. That's what I was curious about, what that outlook would look like. And as we're talking right now, we've already been talking for 20 minutes, and I honestly don't know where the time went. Can you stick around after when I take a quick break and we come back? Sure. Let's do that right now on this Friday morning. We'll take a quick pause. Our conversation with the chairman of the Madison County Board, Kirk Prenzler, continues right after this.
When I got in the car accident at the ER, they gave me a prescription of hydrocodone, and over time, it took more medication to mask the pain. I moved over to drug seeking and found heroin and fentanyl. I went to the Centerstone rehab facility, and it was the best decision I ever made in my life. I have my own car, I have a job, there's nothing holding me back anymore.
Dream Home Realty Center.
Hey, Sherry, talk to me, Dream Team. We've got showing.
Whether you're a seasoned pro or a weekend warrior, gear up with Foul Commit and elevate your hunting experience. From rugged gear for the seasoned hunter to adorable outfits for the little ones, we've got your whole family covered. Literally, because the best moments are made in the great outdoors. And with Foul Commit, you're not just wearing gear, you're wearing the stories of your adventures. Discover the joy of hunting together. Visit FoulCommit.com and outfit your family for the next generations of memories.
We are Phillips 66 Wood River Refinery. We make the fuels that take us to work and our children to school. We make materials and energy products that allow us to stay connected to each other. We care about the quality and safety of our products because we care about the communities we share. Our employees live our values of safety, honor, and a commitment to act as good neighbors where we live and operate. We are Phillips 66. When life throws unexpected challenges your way, you need a versatile legal ally to protect you. Sean Lentz, with over 12 years of experience, is here to help you in a variety of avenues. From personal injury to criminal defense and even semi-truck accidents, Sean Lentz has your back. Don't wait for the justice that you deserve. Call 618-465-8000 and see how Sean can help you today.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
Sitting in the sun, I'm sure it'll hit me.
Welcome back. I don't know what time it is because we're taping this a little bit early, but all I know is that we're having a conversation with Chairman Kurt Prenzler. Thank you so much for your time because I know, you know, how busy this campaign season's been on top of your current duties. And, you know, people last time, and I wanted to come back and hit on this because folks last time maybe saw an interview that I've done with other political figures throughout.
Sure.
And, you know, my stance has always been, I have the platform, but I want to hear directly from the official, you know, not a back and forth of maybe the host and on national news argues with the candidate. I always think it's more beneficial to hear directly from the candidate. And I always appreciate when you come on. You came on last summer to talk about things going on in the county and were very blunt and really laid it out for us. And now you're back here now a couple of weeks before the primary, and we were talking about local issues a little bit. And I've always said, and I've said the same question to Chris, is that Alton's a town, I've always said, of 7 islands that aren't on the same page. It's, you know, Middletown's working in a different fashion than downtown, and that's the way that a lot of people kind of view the city, is we're kind of disconnected. In the county, you have all these towns that make up Madison County. How important is it for you to look into their issues that maybe they're facing and seeing how the county can support?
Well, first of all, I think local is really important. And what I've noticed in my time as an elected official is every state is different. Every county within every state is different. Every town within every county is different. Every town has its own personality. And you're saying that you have 7 neighborhoods within Alton. Well, let me jump to one local issue that's been a nasty, difficult issue to deal with, and that's trash on the highways.
Yes.
And we have the largest waste in Roxana. It's the largest in the state of Illinois right now. We receive, I mean, this is not pretty to talk about, but we have struggled and we have tried. In fact, I was there, I think it was Friday, they have a new manager at the Roxana landfill. And let me say we have a couple of different problems, but we have some solutions. Let me tell you about one solution we've got, and that is 255 north of 270. If everybody knows, right there by Worldwide Technologies. Right. And this is how the trash trucks tend to come in from Missouri, and they go up on 255 and they go east on 143. And let me say, all the litter is not from the trash trucks, but okay, we have to be after it. People hate litter, and we do not want to live in a trash dump in Madison County. Right. Believe me, we're on this. So we're going to be, those trash trucks, when they tip their loads into that landfill, they pay tipping fees. We've got about $8 million. We're going to be using that money this year. And right now, beginning February 24th, which is not this Saturday, but the next Saturday, we're going to have crews out completely picking up 255, both sides and in the middle, between 143, south of 143 and north of 270. Now, we're working on I-55 as we go from the Poplar Street Bridge all the way to 255. Now, that we've got a racetrack to be proud of. Right. This June, on June 1st and 2nd, we're going to have the biggest sporting event that we have in the Metro East, that NASCAR racetrack, WWT racetrack. It is amazing, and we should be so thankful for Curtis Francois, who bought that, turned it around. David Stewart in Worldwide Technologies. David Stewart is the owner of Worldwide Technologies. It is the largest African-American owned company in the country. And every time I look, they've got more revenues. It's 16 billion, 17 billion. And they have 25, they're the largest employer in Madison County. All of a sudden, they've got about 2,500 employees, and they put their name on that racetrack. And it is amazing. I've never been to a NASCAR racetrack, and I'm just you have headphones on?
Yep.
I recommend headphones.
Well, and you're right, because I mean, that's, people talk about, and everyone knows how I feel about the term economic impact, and I want to, because I've always said, let's look at formulas and equations to how we got there. But with the racetrack, I mean, it was very clear to see the impact that race brought into the area. Yeah,
it was amazing. And we have a little bit of a problem with our interstates, trash on the side of our interstates, because in the state of Illinois, only IDOT can pick up the trash.
Right.
And they don't schedule that many pickups. Listen, I'm not here to trash IDOT.
Right.
No, I'm not here. I am not here to speak negatively about it. Is a tough problem. But in Missouri, they can hire independent contracting firms to go on the side of the interstates, and that's not allowed in Illinois. But we are going to work harder. I will tell you, in St. Charles County, Missouri, working with the county over there, and we do talk to them, they do 8 pickups a year on I-70 west of Missouri. I just want everyone to know that this has been a tough problem. I do hate litter. I pick it up as I go walking in my neighborhood. And we have given out 4,000 litter pickup kits to people in Madison County. I'm proud to say people do pick up litter in Madison County in their neighborhoods.
Well, absolutely. And, and people think that trash is just, a county highway problem. It's not. I mean, I walk my neighborhood and I got to look at, here's a broken beer bottle and here's all this junk that my dog's going to cut his foot on and I can't walk him there anymore. And so, I mean, there's so many facets of this that just don't revolve around the corridor, even though that's the biggest issue. But I've had folks on like, Chain Gang and all these guys that pick up trash or try. And the idea that they have is, this is an issue, but there's folks that are going, hey, we have to take care of X, Y, and Z, in terms of IDOT to make sure they're hitting projects on time and have to worry about trash, but it's still an issue we have to focus on.
Yes.
And that's just me. I don't know if there's anything that we can do other than, what you're trying to do with terms of maybe a independent contractor situation.
255 between north of 270 and south of 143 it looks like an interstate, but it's technically a state highway, and that's why we can do this.
Okay.
But on interstates, like between the river, if you the new bridge in Chain of Rocks and you go on 270, it looks terrible today. Right. And after the winter, this is the worst time. Then IDOT will do a pickup, but I really wish that we could have the policies that they use in Missouri. Now, the city of St. Louis doesn't look good.
No.
And in St. Louis County, but if you go to some of these other counties like us, like St. Charles County, it is clean, and that's our goal.
And is there any wiggle room that you guys could have at the board level or at the county level to implement some? Because I know the state's saying that you can't do it from a statewide level, but is there anything you could do countywide with a policy that could help combat some of their language?
We're already doing that on 255 and state highways. We still are not there on the interstates.
Right.
We're not there yet.
Right.
Because we're not allowed to pick up there.
Right.
So what we can do is call IDOT and encourage them, and we will continue to do that.
Absolutely. And when you're walking the campaign trail, and that's one thing nobody can take away from you. I mean, you were out walking every chance you can to meet folks and go to different events. What's the number one concern? Is it property taxes? Whenever you're hearing about their issues that they're facing that they want to work on, whenever you're knocking on doors and talking?
I would say property taxes. I think that we talk about economic development, and we're very, very fortunate to have this investment on Wheeland, which was in East Alton, $500 million. And this is an amazing company. It's a 200-year-old company, German company, where they started making church bells. And so this That will be the Olin Brass location. Will be a top flight, absolutely best in class manufacturing facility. The state of Illinois helped a great deal with that, but at the same time we have to make sure that property taxes are not out of control so that families can live here, and families and businesses. It is an issue. We all know people who have left the state of Illinois because of taxes.
Right.
And so and by the way, I have led the fight to defeat a 1% sales tax that was proposed in 2011, 2017, and 2018. I believe passionately that we need to, as elected officials, do everything possible to help with the property tax situation.
And I'm not trying to put you on the spot. One thing I did want to ask you about was the homeless situation in Madison County, because the last couple of months, especially when the Arctic front came in and it was brutally cold, there were overnight warming locations and all these different resources, but then there was a little bit of some scuttlebutt on, do we have permits for this? Do you need a permit?
That was in Edwardsville.
Yeah, but just throughout the county, is homelessness, is there a way, in your opinion, to combat this overall, or is it just start locally?
We have a homeless coordinator. It's called the consortium, and it's a number of different organizations, and it's a number of organizations that work together. I will tell you, just from personal experience in speaking to homeless people, that sometimes they're broken, and you can help them, and but that something has gone wrong in their life, and it's a very sad and difficult situation. So we have to be there with resources, and a number of organizations and churches. We did have a situation that got a lot of publicity in Edwardsville with 4 churches that wanted to have a warming center, and they had a kind of a situation with the city. It was my opinion that it's time to forget about, when temperatures are that desperately cold. Okay, I mean, let's just help people.
Right.
And so libraries have issues because homeless people, especially in cold weather, gravitate to libraries. Our libraries in the county have sometimes hired social workers. And so it's a difficult, but again, we have to just continue to work with it. And I appreciate all the compassion we see in Madison County.
Well, and that's what I was curious to ask you about. And with that being said, sir, as of now, is there anything else that you want to talk about that we haven't yet? Because we've already been talking for 30 minutes, Chairman Prenzler, and I know that you're busy and don't want to keep you, but if there's any other policy or any type of message you'd like to get out, I'd love for our audience to hear.
Well, I really enjoy local. I think we have to make sure that we keep the taxes down locally, that we work on every aspect of our in terms of to really take care of and be good gardeners of our local community, and our communities are different. Every town, every city and village in Madison County is different personalities, and I think that if we were, the state of Illinois has a bad reputation right now in terms of. And I think we would be growing and more if we were not in the state of Illinois, but we are. Mm-hmm. And I think, but we are safe. And I think and so we should just work to have a great county, and it takes everybody.
Absolutely. And sir, what's the best way for folks to get all the information about your platform, your campaign? Well,
anyone's free to call me on my personal cell phone, 618-514-2599. Also, they could go to my website, www.kurtprenzler.com, or on my Facebook at kurtprenzlercpa.com.
Absolutely.
Not .com, Facebook, Kurt Prenzler CPA.
I do it here. I can't even remember my darn phone number sometimes when I tell them. Well, Chairman Prenzler, thank you so much. And I know that you're working hard. We're a couple of weeks away, and anytime you want to come on, before or after, the door's always open. I appreciate your time.
Very good. Thank you, CJ.
No problem.
Okay.
We'll take a quick pause here on this Friday morning, and we will come back with more of our daily show right after this on RiverBender.com. Is it time to buy, sell, or even time to consider a short sale of your property? Meet Lisa Webb, owner of 3rd Street Realty. This local, women-owned, family-operated realty group has over a decade of experience in foreclosures, first-time home buying, and so much more. 3rd Street Realty prides themselves on holding your hand through the entire process. Let their expertise guide you to your dream home. Visit 3rdstrealty.com and start your journey with Lisa Webb today.
I just got a new air conditioner. Top of the line.
I bet mine's better. It's so efficient and quiet, I hardly know it's running.
I've got you both trumped. I've got a Linux.
So do I.
Barrett Heating and Cooling carries Linux products to meet any budget. Don't gamble with your energy dollars. Call Barrett Heating and Cooling and start saving today.
Lennox. Innovation never felt so good.
With over 20 years of experience, Wilson's Tree Service has the expertise to handle all of your tree care needs. Licensed and fully insured, their team of experts are dedicated to providing reliable service. Plus, with a 24-hour emergency service line, Wilson's will always be there for you. Don't risk tackling that timber by yourself. Trust the local professionals at Wilson's Tree Service. Visit treeservicealtonil.org to get started today.
Welcome to Evergreen Place, a community that embodies joyful living, independence, and financial freedom for seniors. If you're looking for a full day of activities or to relax in your apartment, we have you covered. Located on the Alton Memorial Campus. To know us is to love us. Experience the difference at Evergreen Place.
Life's better when you're under our roof. That's because our expert agents will make you feel totally protected with the right auto and home coverage at the right price. Also, you can enjoy the dreams you worked so hard to achieve. American Family Insurance.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway-safe rubber-tired dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at sparksjunkremoval.net.
Not sure if you've noticed, but those advertised prices from the other dealers are just a bunch of blah, blah, blah. At Roberts Motors, the advertised price is the price you pay. And that, my friend, is great news for you. Don't fall for their so-called incentives that will leave you banging your head against the wall. Go with Roberts Motors. Prices you can trust and people you will like. That's the Roberts Motors way. And trust me, it's the way to go.
When life throws unexpected challenges your way, you need a versatile legal ally to protect you. Sean Lentz, with over 12 years of experience, is here to help you in a variety of avenues. From personal injury to criminal defense and even semi-truck accidents, Sean Lentz has your back. Don't wait for the justice that you deserve. Call 618-465-8000 and see how Sean can help you today.
Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ.
Welcome back. 9:58, a little bit of change. No top of the hour news yet. Just a brief segment to highlight Alton Little Theater. You know, Alton Little Theater is presenting the 4-poster, and it starts, well, this week. This is really exciting. So if you go over to altonlittletheater.org, that's altonlittletheater.org, you'll see the complete event listing for the 4-poster. It starts tonight. at 7:30 p.m., and it runs tomorrow, and it also runs on the 21st, the 22nd. My apologies. It starts today, the 16th. It runs tomorrow, the 18th, the 21st, the 22nd, the 23rd, the 24th, and the 25th. Now, this is a really cool rom-com. It's a touching play that focuses on the trials and the tribulations, the laughter, the sorrows, the hopes, and disappointment that comes with being married for over 35 years. This follows a couple that has been married for 35 years, and the only scene in this play is their four-poster bed. It's really great. The show bears witness to the magnificence of marriage, and it's one you don't want to miss. Tickets are so affordable, and you're supporting Alton Little Theater, who does so much for our community, and I mean really does a lot, whether it's community outreach or just supporting local nonprofits like they did with the extra entertainment series. There's so much good that comes out of supporting Alton Little Theater, and what better way to really end the Valentine's Day week by bringing your loved one over to watch a really touching play with two talented actors, a hell of a director, and then, of course, the greatness of Alton Little Theater on top of it. It makes for a good weekend event. With that being said, you go to altonlittletheater.org today, or you could always contact the box office at 618-462-3205. That's 618-462-3205, or by visiting altonlittletheater.org today. We'll take a quick break, and we'll come back with top of the hour news right after this.
Welcome to Evergreen Place, a community that embodies joyful living, independence, and financial freedom for seniors. If you're looking for a full day of activities or to relax in your apartment, we have you covered. Located on the Alton Memorial Campus. To know us is to love us. Experience the difference at Evergreen Place.
Is it time to buy, sell, or even time to consider a short sale of your property? Meet Lisa Webb, owner of 3rd Street Realty. This local, women-owned, family-operated realty group has over a decade of experience in foreclosures, first-time home buying, and so much more. 3rd Street Realty prides themselves on holding your hand through the entire process. Let their expertise guide you to your dream home. Visit 3rdstrealty.com and start your journey with Lisa Webb today.
Do you need to declutter your space? Time to call me, the Queen of Junk. Since 1993, we have grown to be the leader in residential, commercial, and property management junk removal. At Sparks Junk Removal, we are eco-friendly. We recycle, donate, or repurpose items back into our community. Trash is our last resort to the landfill. Plus, with our all-inclusive service, our crews handle everything from labor to lifting and landfill fees. Give us a call or visit our website, sparksjunkremoval.net, to reclaim your space today.
With over 20 years of experience, Wilson's Tree Service has the expertise to handle all of your tree care needs. Licensed and fully insured, their team of experts are dedicated to providing reliable service. Plus, with a 24-hour emergency service line, Wilson's will always be there for you. Don't risk tackling that timber by yourself. Trust the local professionals at Wilson's Tree Service. Visit treeservicealtonil.org to get started today.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
Baby, everything is alright. Uptight, out of sight. Baby, everything is alright. Uptight, out of sight.
Welcome back. 10:03, top of the hour news right now on Our Daily Show, RiverBender.com. CJ Nasello. Glad you're here today. Good Friday morning show. So we are going to be doing a little something different today. The reason being is we have to reschedule one last time with Loretta Graham, the CEO of the Girl Scouts of Southern Illinois. Getting back into town, nothing too pressing, but just wanted to make sure she had time and didn't have to rush. She's going to join us on Tuesday at 10:10, and today we'll just have some fun in the 10 o'clock hour. If you want to text me, you can, and we'll be playing one of our conversations from this week. But that happens, and I want to make sure that we get the conversation with Loretta because I love what they do at the Girl Scouts of Southern Illinois. And I'm very excited to have that conversation now going to be on Tuesday at 10:10. We'll take you to top of the hour news now at 10:03. We'll take you to Jerseyville first. The Emos Pizza location in Jerseyville is shut down permanently after owners cited an unstable economy. In a recent announcement, the restaurant offered beloved community members and customers one last yesterday on Thursday from 4 to 8 p.m. Co-owners Jenna and Brandon Taylor did share the unfortunate news on Facebook. And here's her statement. It was not an easy decision. Our current economy is not stable for a small business to thrive and is no longer worth it. I'm physically and emotionally exhausted. I have fought hard for 3 years and can no longer fight. She closed by apologizing to the community, adding that, quote, the love and support over the years have not gone unnoticed, end quote. We appreciate every single one of you. We will be open. One last dinner rush today. Come say your goodbyes. We are running low and out of multiple items, so be patient as we deplete our current inventory. Thanks for a great 3 years, Jerseyville. Jenna and Brandon Taylor have owned the Jerseyville Emos for the past 3 years, following previous owners Kathy and Rob Harrison, who owned it for 15 years prior to that. Several community members expressed their sadness to see the business go. One asked if Taylor planned to sell the business, to which she responded, the business has been for sale for over a year. If you're interested, Emos Pizza is located at 1600 South State Street in Jerseyville. You can see the full announcement on the Jerseyville Emos Facebook page. We'll take you to Granite City. A man from Granite City charged with 6 felony counts, including armed habitual criminal charge and more, after police caught him selling narcotics out of his residence. He was found to be in possession of multiple firearms, including one that was stolen, and reportedly has an extensive criminal history. Anthony M. Taylor, 55, of Granite City, was charged with the following 6 counts: armed violence, a Class X felony; armed habitual criminal, a Class X felony; possession with intent or delivery of a controlled substance, a Class X felony; unlawful possession of weapon by a felon, a Class II felony; and an additional charge of unlawful possession of weapons by a felon, another Class II felony; and then count 6, unlawful possession of a stolen firearm, another Class II felony. A petition to deny Taylor's pretrial release does state that law enforcement officers received information Taylor was selling narcotics out of his Granite City residence when they discovered firearms and more. Here's their statement. Officers conducted multiple controlled purchases with defendant and seized suspected cocaine. Officers observed a hand-to-hand exchange of narcotics with defendant and confidential source. Officers secured and executed search warrants for residence and vehicle of the defendant. Officers seized multiple firearms and suspected cocaine indicative of sales from residence and vehicle of said defendant. The petition also does state Taylor has, quote, an extensive felony criminal history to include multiple felony convictions for drug-related offenses. It adds that he's, quote, currently on federal release for prior drug-related conviction. According to court documents, some of the weapons seized from Taylor's residence include a Taurus GC2 9mm handgun, a Ruger 9mm handgun, and a stolen Beretta handgun. He reportedly possessed these weapons after previously being convicted of unlawful delivery and possession of controlled substances in St. Clair County. More than 15 grams of cocaine were found in Taylor's possession. Taylor's case was presented by the Granite City Police Department, and he is going to be remanded to be held in jail until his initial appearance in court. Also in the news, out of St. Louis and throughout Chicago, Michelle DeBosque has organized a GoFundMe for a mother and daughter that were killed while they were exiting a recent Drake concert in St. Louis. Unfortunately, upon exiting that Drake concert in downtown, their lives came to a tragic end when they were struck by a driver. Here's a quote from DeBosque. The family is currently trying to bring them home and give them the best funeral service possible with hopes to lay them to rest amongst other family members. The family is extremely devastated by this horrific tragedy. DeBosque continued and said Letitia, Letty Baracchio, and Alyssa, Cordova came from a close, strong family in Chicago. Letty was a hardworking supervisor at Wintrust Bank and a dedicated mother, a loving sister, and a niece and a cousin. Her only child, Alyssa, was going to college and working part-time for Starbucks. Alyssa loved music concerts, and although was old enough to travel to concerts on her own, her mom would always escort her. The two were inseparable and shared a strong bond. DeBosque closed by saying the following. We appreciate the love and outpouring from everyone in both the Chicago and St. Louis areas. We thank everyone so much for everything. There is a GoFundMe link on the RiverBender.com article that is secure and will take you directly to the GoFundMe if you are able to donate and support that cause. We'll take you to Edwardsville next. The Edwardsville Police yesterday announced the results of its Super Bowl enforcement campaign, and Edwardsville Police spokesperson Lieutenant Brandon Whitaker said the department issued 8 speed citations, 2 citations for illegal transportation of alcohol, and 4 other citations during the recent Super Bowl enforcement campaign. The Super Bowl weekend event Drive Sober or Get Pulled Over or Click It or Ticket campaign enforcement ran from February the 9th through the early morning hours of February the 12th. The goal was to keep impaired drivers off the road and ensure more people buckle up and follow all traffic safety laws. Here's a quote from Lieutenant Whitaker. Motorists should understand the warning that we are serious about cracking down on impaired drivers and seatbelt and other traffic safety law violators. We do it to save lives. The recent law enforcement campaign was made possible by federal highway traffic safety funds administered by the Illinois Department of Transportation as part of the statewide Drive Sober or Get Pulled Over and Click It or Ticket campaigns. My apologies. We'll take you to Alton next. Sydney Sinks filling us in out of Alton's NCG Cinemas. The movie theater will have a special showing of Rustin from February the 16th through the 23rd. The movie serves as a prequel for the Robert J. Ellison Unfiltered Lens Photography exhibit at Jacoby Arts Center. Ralph Bo Jackson, Ellison's cousin, explained that the movie will help set the stage for the photos shown in the exhibit. Rustin tells the story of Bayard Rustin, an advisor to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who played a pivotal role in the Civil Rights Movement and the March on Washington in 1963, where King delivered his famous I Have a Dream speech. Ellison's photos start with the March on Washington and continue through the Civil Rights Movement into the Vietnam War. Ellison was a photographer who captured several famous images of the Civil Rights Movement and the Vietnam War. Jackson said Rustin helps people understand the division in the country and the famous marches that Ellison photographed. Jackson thanked the NCG Cinemas event director Jason Mills, who helped coordinate the movie in Alton. Rustin is on Netflix, and Jackson said it took a lot of negotiating to get permission to show the movie at the Alton Theater. He said, quote, "It's just a miracle," end quote, that they are able to show the movie for a full week. If there are enough tickets sold, the theater will extend their showing of Rustin for another week. The movie will provide context for the photo display. You can learn more about the Robert J. Ellison Unfiltered Lens photo exhibit on additional articles on RiverBender.com. Also in the news, out of Alton, according to organizers, the inaugural Riverbend Wellness Festival is for the Riverbend and by the Riverbend. Here's what we know. Scheduled from 10 a.m. until 4 p.m. on Saturday, March the 2nd, the festival will include over 30 vendors, 10 keynote speakers, and several workshops that promote mental, physical, and spiritual wellness. The festival, located at Milton Schoolhouse in Alton, encourages attendees to connect with local resources and learn about ways to take a holistic approach to wellness. The festival itself is completely free, but there will be chances to donate to Amare. Proceeds from the basket raffles and 50-50 raffle will also go towards the organization based out of Wood River that provides resources and coaching for people in recovery from substance use disorders. In addition to keynote speakers and vendors, attendees can enjoy several workshops, including sessions on yoga, meditation, ecstatic dance, crafts, and more. There will also be a few kid zones available. They encourage attendees to bring their loved ones to the Riverbend Wellness Festival. For more information on this event, you can visit the RiverBender.com community calendar, or you can go to the the official event Facebook page for the Riverbend Wellness Festival. At 10:13, out of Edwardsville, State Senator Erica Harris from the 56th District of Glen-Carbon spent Valentine's Day hand-delivering homemade cards as part of her first annual Valentine's for Seniors card drive. Here's her quote. It's truly humbling to go to so many church groups, local organizations, and schools create homemade cards for us to deliver to area seniors across the 56th district, Senator Harris said. She continues, on a day focused on love, it was great to see so many smiles on faces of residents as we personally delivered Valentine's cards to each facility. Senator Harris's Valentine's for Seniors card drive was created to allow members of the community a chance to donate their time and creativity in making cards to be delivered to nursing homes, assisted living facilities, and other long-term care facilities across the 56th district. This year, Senator Harris's office collected more than 2,000 cards and delivered them to 36 facilities across the district during the Valentine's Week. A final quote: "It's great to have the first year of this wonderful program under our belt, and I look forward to looking at ways and making the card drive bigger and better for area seniors in years to come. I want to share a heartfelt thank you to everyone who helped make this year a great success." Let's take a look at weather. 10:15, that is the time on this Friday morning. Right now, temperatures are currently at 30 degrees. And it feels like 24 out there. Today it will be colder with snow at times, accumulating up to 1 to 3 inches. Roads and sidewalks will be wet to slushy. Accumulation will occur on unpaved surfaces. Tonight, you can expect mostly cloudy conditions and considerably colder. Temperatures reach 33 degrees today. They might have already done that and dropped down to 15 degrees overnight. On Saturday, a high of 31, a low of 24. And on Sunday, a high of 49 and a low of 26. No clouds in the sky all weekend long. On Monday, the 19th, President's Day, a high of 53, a low of 34. And then on Tuesday, a high of 59, we're getting closer, and a high of 36, with partly sunny skies Monday and Tuesday. Let's take a look at downtown Alton. Are we getting any more snow on the roads here? Let's see. More snow on the buildings than it was an hour ago, but that's basically nothing. A little bit of a dusting. You can see some city workers working hard in the left-hand corner of your screen to prepare the roads throughout the day. And you can see the gray skies right over Clark Bridge and some cars coming in and out of Alton. That's one of my favorite shots of downtown, just a perfect one. You can see that sky cam in real time all the time on RiverBender.com/weather. And for time and temperature throughout the day, you give this phone number a ring. 618-465-4545. This time powered by, let's see, Bounce Back, Rehab, Recover, and Return Home. Before we take a quick pause, I would like to give a big shout out to Lisa Webb and 3rd Street Realty, truly the best at what she does. You know, what I appreciate most about Lisa is her commitment to community and also her commitment to helping everyone. You know, I mean, think about it. A lot of times realtors, they get a bad rap because if you aren't looking for that $500,000 home, that $200,000 home, well, it's going to be a little bit harder, I'm sure, to find that real estate agent because, you know, they have a living to make too. At Lisa Webb and 3rd Street Realty, that's not the case. They treat everyone the same. Whether or not you're buying a $24 million house or maybe you're buying a $24,000 house, they treat you as a person, not as a client. They hold your hand through the entire process. Whether or not you're buying for the first time and you need the guidance that you need and you need to learn about all the grants that are available, she will help you. All you have to do is visit 3rdstrealty.com. Maybe you're selling your house for the 3rd or 4th time. Lisa Webb will still help you then too with her dedicated team and her dedication to making sure that your needs, your family's values, they're met. It's so important. And let's talk real for a second. Things are tough for some folks. If you're in the situation of a foreclosure or the potential of a short sale, there is nobody better to work with than Lisa Webb at 3rd Street Realty. She has over a decade of experience, and she truly is the best when it comes to the art of the short sale and foreclosures. She has information and resource guides on her website at 3rdstrealty.com, and they await you there. I hope you start your journey with Lisa Webb because I did personally, and I'm telling you what, I couldn't have been happier. That's 3rdstrealty.com. That's 3rdstrealty.com. We'll come back with a little bit more of our daily show, and what we'll do when we come back is we'll play a little bit of our conversation with Megan Tyler, Sacred Spaces of Care, for their trivia night. This is a great organization to support as we had a little bit of a scheduling issue, and we're going to be talking to the Girl Scouts of Southern Illinois on Tuesday. It happens, but this is a great conversation I had with Megan just a few short days ago. We'll hear that next, right after a quick break.
When I got in the car accident at the ER, they gave me a prescription of hydrocodone. And over time, it took more medication to mask the pain. I moved over to drug seeking and found heroin and fentanyl. I went to the Centerstone rehab facility, and it was the best decision I ever made in my life. I have my own car, I have a job, there's nothing holding me back anymore.
Dream Home Realty Center.
Hey Sherry, talk to me, Dream Team. We've got Joey.
Whether you're a seasoned pro or a weekend warrior, gear up with Falcommit and elevate your hunting experience. From rugged gear for the seasoned hunter to adorable outfits for the little ones, we've got your whole family covered. Literally, because the best moments are made in the great outdoors. And with Falcommit, you're not just wearing gear, you're wearing the stories of your adventures. Discover the joy of hunting together. Visit FalCommit.com and outfit your family for the next generations of memories.
We are Phillips 66 Wood River Refinery. We make the fuels that take us to work and our children to school. We make materials and energy products that allow us to stay connected to each other. We care about the quality and safety of our products because we care about the communities we share. Our employees live our values of safety, honor, and a commitment to act as good neighbors where we live and operate. We are Phillips 66. When life throws unexpected challenges your way, you need a versatile legal ally to protect you. Sean Lentz, with over 12 years of experience, is here to help you in a variety of avenues. From personal injury to criminal defense and even semi-truck accidents, Sean Lentz has your back. Don't wait for the justice that you deserve. Call 618-465-8000 and see how Sean can help you today.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com. To Our Daily Show, here's CJ.
Megan, we'll get through this. 9:24. Welcome back to this 9th day of February on RiverBender.com. Megan, Tyler, Sacred Spaces of Care, gearing up for a trivia night. Not today, but on the 17th.
On the 17th. Yes.
We're both been a little bit busy lately.
Yeah, not quite sure the date at the moment, but we'll survive.
So how's everything been? I know that you were a little bit under the weather lately, but you were still getting a bunch done. It's been really
I didn't have a choice, right? No. Sometimes we just have to buck up. But it's been awesome. I just put out a post this morning. We celebrated a year this week,
great.
which is crazy. I mean, I could never have envisioned. We officially incorporated February of 2023. Obviously, it took us some months of getting like boots on the ground. There was a lot of transition and stuff. So real programming kind of over the summer kicked in. But I did a highlight reel this last week, and it was just so fun going back through a lot of the pictures from just a lot of community events and just things that we've done that you get so embedded in it that sometimes you forget, and it's hard to really see like the macro level while you're in the fine details. And so it's just been awesome. Lots going on.
So I don't know if this is you, but this is me. I like Chevy Chase in the Christmas Vacation when he's in the attic and he's like watching the home movies. I have to do that every once in a while and just kind of go through the year and go. And then, you know, you kind of get a little emotion because you forget about it all.
Yeah, I mean, it's really, you know, it's so many different emotions. You know, it's the joy. It's like the feeling of like, man, I get to do this every day. Like, I'm so honored to like be in this space. And then we had some people recently that sent over some like testimonials of things that we've been able to kind of walk alongside them in. And, you know, when you're in the moment, you know, they're grateful, you're hearing thank you. Yeah. But when somebody sets aside time to actually write something down and communicate that like in a story, I sat on my couch just cry. It's just it reminds you like why we're in it and why on the days that it gets overwhelming or maybe feels defeating, like why we keep going. That
Absolutely.
kind of thing.
Well, take me through the year of growth you've had, because I don't know where you want to start. I know it's an encyclopedia at this point.
Yeah, so we founded with 6 original founding board members. I'm super excited. We just had our annual meeting last night. We've elected 5 new board members, so we're growing up to about 10 now, which is going to be awesome. Lots of great, diverse experiences, everything from people that have been in the nonprofit sector to some law background to our therapists to business, ministry. It's just a really great, diverse group. I think this next year is going to be phenomenal. Everybody's passionate, everybody's eager to just dive in. And, what I always tell my founding board and what I put out in the message this morning is like, when they jumped on, kudos to them because they didn't even know what this looks like. To have somebody, that's some of the most meaningful thing to me. When you have somebody that can come alongside you and believe in you because they don't even know what it looks like yet, like I will always be incredibly grateful to anybody that was here from the start. But now we have that traction and we've seen fruit and we see the change and the difference it's making. And so I think it just fires everybody up and we want to really go through 24 with a lot of great projects, great plans, moving forward.
Well, and on top of it all, this last year, and I think we're all quick to forget a lot of, news stories, but there was a lot of instances of folks that were, needing some help.
Yeah, that's back to the mixed emotions. It's hard for me to, even coming into this interview, I was struggling a little this morning with, coming in, energized and excited, and you have all these, fundraising events and things, but there's also, that means there's a lot of hurt, I attended the prayer vigil last night for Janiyah and her family and have been on the phone communicating with some therapy wraparound resources that we're going to try to engage in there. And that's hard because I want to come in energized and I want to, say like, we have all this fun and we do. We have these events and resource fairs and but there's a lot of tragedy and a lot of hurt going on in our community, which again just reinforces the mission and why it is so needed. But unfortunately also means that there are people hurting and we need to, be mindful of that and remember that. And so speaking of trivia, even next Saturday, like we're going to have a blast. It's going to be a great time. We have a volunteer that has just poured her heart into it. But I also think people are going to leave that event feeling changed. Like we're very intentional about telling the story. We're going to talk a lot that night about lived experience and about this mission. And so we're here to have a great time. If you want to come play trivia, if you're a trivia buff, even if you know nothing, come out and join us because it's going to be a blast. But, I feel like you're going to leave like, man, I didn't just enjoy that. It wasn't just fun, but like, I feel something changed. Like I understand people.
Well, especially when you learn about you really learn what you guys do each and every day because there's so much going on and craziness on televisions, no matter where you turn, that we forget and lose sight over the mission statement. And that's why I think it's really cool that that's kind of encompassing the trivia night.
Yeah. We pretty. I'm me. I'm a believer in like there's intentionality behind everything that I do. So we're we want to tell the story. If we're not telling the story, then what are we really doing? And being so new in our infancy too, there's still a lot of people in the community that don't know of us. And so we need to take that opportunity to say, hey, by the way, guys, this is what we're about, and nobody likes asking for money. But at the end of the day, like we can't do this alone. We have so many projects and so many needs to meet and funding is a huge part of that, and so that's a big part of our
and too Megan, there's been so many times, and I've said it on the show for about a year, nonprofits have never hurt this bad. You ask around, it is that's just from my interviews and asking folks how it's going and getting that consensus.
And it's just the work of it because we were very lucky to be awarded some large scale grants, and a lot of people might view that as like, oh, you have all of this funding, but they're also restricted funds. And so people don't understand that sometimes that the board's mission really over this next year is to really focus heavily on private and corporate donors that aren't restricted because we have projects that we want to do. We have, staffing we want to expand that those grants don't allow for. That work is very specified and we don't get a lot of freedom within it. And it's great things and we're extremely grateful for it, but it doesn't it doesn't stand alone.
Absolutely. So. Well, and that's something that is a huge point because that is a common thought is that, well, if they're getting all this funding, but that's, you're right. There's hold periods and then there's things that you got to keep. Well, and you have to be really, a lot of those grants, you got to follow them by the,
absolutely.
Bullet point.
Yeah.
So whenever, before we go into the deep dive on Trivia Night and talk about the details, you kind of hinted at it where, even though you're doing a bunch, you're a year in, could you refill the listening audience today on some of the things that you all do each and every day? Because I think that's a really powerful testament to why we're really supporting this Trivia Night and getting out there, because you guys really are doing some good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, on the daily, we have our partnership with the police department where we do a lot of crisis intervention, kind of co-response out in the field, supporting officers, when there's individuals engaged in crisis, whether it's mental health, substance use, our unhoused population, whatever that might look like. We're trying to get out as much as we can, support them in those efforts, and primarily also connect them to resources is the main thing, because that follow-up is lacking most of the time, and just trying to reduce some of those barriers. We've talked many times about how it's so hard to navigate systems and what phone calls do you make and what can provide resources where. We do internal work within the PD that's officer wellness focused. So we've built out an entire program, Chief Ford and I, with wellness, like comprehensively, from physical fitness, nutrition, sleep habits, all the things that first responders, deal with on a daily basis, and that they take home, to their families too, that they don't just leave on the job and the trauma exposure that they have. And we do that. And so, any way that we can partner, we have a partnership with Chestnut Health Systems, and I work with one of their recovery coaches now to really bring in that other piece of lived experience and engage people, with substance use who are wanting treatment. We have tons of connections with local providers. And so what that looks like maybe on a larger scale, not drilled down to the daily, is, events. We're at as many different resource fairs that we can possibly be at. We're at, anything related to trauma. So we're not like locked in. We do, like last year we did, the overdose awareness event. We did the suicide prevention walk. We did the domestic violence walk. We do, all of the other fairs, anything we can get out to. The community trainings have been awesome.
Yeah.
We partnered with Hainer Library.
Yeah.
So the trauma awareness, we did a substance use, like stigma reduction with like Narcan demonstration. We just had our most attended one, which is a guest that we brought in from out of town that was on it was called Beyond Behavior. So it's really digging into like, what are those root causes that we see these behaviors arise in anyone of any age based on, their experience and the trauma that they maybe bring to the table. That was well attended and some good conversation. So I don't know, I'm probably forgetting things, but that's kind of a very quick macro level of a lot of the activity.
It's absolutely perfect. And what we'll do is we'll take a quick break because I do have to pay a bill. We'll come back, we'll talk all about Trivia Night, because I'm serious, you guys have no idea. Sacred Spaces of Care is doing some really great stuff. And on top of that, I'm glad you mentioned substance use disorder. And because as you guys know as well, we just started a brand new partnership with Centerstone. Twice a month we talk about their substance use disorder treatment plans and talk with local medical experts. If you're looking for a fresh start on the road to recovery, a life free from addiction is possible, and it starts at Centerstone. Centerstone is a national leader in mental health and substance use disorder treatment for people of all ages. Now, with the commitment to delivering care that changes lives, here's what I like, Megan. Centerstone's dedicated clinicians use evidence-based practices in treatment programs, so they aren't using those old school, tried and true things that really didn't work.
Right.
That means the recovery plan developed for you is based on the latest science, and there's so many unknowns on the road to recovery, but one thing you can know for sure is that Centerstone will be a constant guiding force for you on your recovery journey. Addiction can happen to anyone, but so can recovery. You can start working on that recovery by visiting Centerstone online at recoverwithus.org. That's recoverwithus.org or 1-877-HOPE-123.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway-safe rubber-tired dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at sparksjunkremoval.net.
Macias Insurance Agency, providing quality products with extremely competitive prices. As an independent provider, we source multiple companies to offer the best rates possible. Covering auto, home, business, and life insurance, our goal is to provide quality service that meets and exceeds customer expectations. You can rest easy knowing the Macias team is working round the clock to ensure that both you and the most important parts of your life are covered. Our qualified professionals make the insurance process easy so you can live carefree and focus on what matters most. Visit MaciasInsuranceAgency.com today to find out what our team can do for you.
Not sure if you've noticed, but those advertised prices from the other dealers are just a bunch of blah, blah, blah. At Roberts Motors, the advertised price is the price you pay. And that, my friend, is great news for you. Don't fall for their so-called incentives that will leave you banging your head against the wall. Go with Roberts Motors. Prices you can trust and people you will like. That's the Roberts Motors way. And trust me, it's the way to go.
Has free checking become a thing of the past? Not if Liberty has anything to say about it. With 3 free personal checking options and even a free business checking account, Free is alive and well at Liberty Bank, the local bank that gives you free checking choices and more cashing in your pocket. Bank locally, bank Liberty. For more information, visit www.bankliberty.com.
RiverBender Radio has built 3 great new stations just for you in the Riverbend. The Eagle, the Riverbend's classic rock station. The Bridge, hit music for the Riverbend. And The River, today's country, and all your favorites. Check them out today at RiverBender.com.
Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ.
I say, hey, I'll be gone today, but I'll be back all around the way. Seems like everywhere I roll, the more
9:37 coming up in not this Saturday, the next Saturday. February is flying by. So I don't know about you, but I'm like really into winter until Christmas is here, and then I'm kind of ready for the summer to come back by January. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, me too. It's beautiful outside today. However, I hear that we might have snow Sunday night, so I just don't even want to talk about it.
I got to do the weather forecast later, and we are going to be getting a chance of some sleet, snow, and a wintry mix Sunday night. But you get 70 degrees today.
I know, but just make up its mind. Like I don't like the back and forth.
You're right.
Because then it feels even colder.
Well, and
because you were just warm,
sick.
and sickness. Yes, absolutely.
And then I don't know about you, my sinuses are just going nuclear right now. They've just given up. They're throwing their hands up and just throwing the
very confused.
Giving them all she's got.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's battle for a cause coming up on February the 17th. This is a trivia night for you. It's a fundraiser. And what I think's really cool before we do the deep dive is thank you for making it affordable. You guys, I manage the community calendar at all the events, and I see the prices on things. And, right now, everyone's a little bit tighter, so make it to where people, if they want to go, can go. And $100, that's not even $20. What is that? $20?
Yeah.
That's not.
Well, because it's only 8 people. It's 8 people per table. So what is that, like $12.50 a year?
Yeah.
So you pay, that was intentional too. I even had some people that like, ooh, that's kind of cheap. I think you could have gotten more out of that. But we just want people to come out. We want people to participate. We wanted to make it fun. Same thing. Our community has come out in full force with these auction items. We have a volunteer of the organization that has just killed it with but what I love about that too, we have high quantity and a variety, but things that are affordable. Like you could walk in and be able to, maybe potentially bid on a couple of things versus these, very high value items that it's like, I'm never even going to have a chance at this, or something like that. So we have great auction items from a lot of community businesses and things like that we're excited about too.
So I got to tell you this. Last year I was at a trivia night that had a silent no, it was not a trivia night. I think it was just an event that had baskets.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there and I'm feeling pretty good about myself, and I'm going over there and all of a sudden I realized that I'd have to refinance my house if I wanted to get these things. And then what I started to do was I played a dangerous game, Megan. Went over there and started throwing my name on something. I only saw like 1 or 2 names, so I knew they were bidding. And that way you can keep driving up the price,
So you're one of those.
I got away with it. I got away with it. Now, if I didn't, that would have been a major issue.
Right. Well, I'm not quite sure I can pay my fund here.
Do you take payment installments?
Right.
So doors open at 6:30. Trivia at 7. And Sportsman's Club's a great venue for this. I mean, really awesome. A big space.
Yeah, it's a big space. We have plenty of space open. We've got several teams registered, but we definitely have more. So grab teams, get them registered, get in there. We did the auction will go throughout the night. Variety of items, like I just discussed. We have some sponsors in the community community that's sponsored around. So again, everything behind it is very intentional. You're going to get to hear a couple of short stories. We promise we'll keep that moving, and we're not there to damper the mood, but we want to share a little bit of lived experience, some of those testimonials, just kind of give you a really good feel for what we're all about.
Well, and see, that's the thing too. I love that component of it because sometimes we put an event on and we forget the brand that we're representing with the event.
Yeah.
And I like that the trivia is not taken away from what the mission of Sacred Spaces carries.
Yeah.
And, I couldn't even imagine, Megan, what you and whatever, any of the folks at Sacred Spaces, whenever you're going on a co-response, you're going out to these. And, being here, I see a lot of those or seeing a blurb of them. Take us through that with those. I mean, I know not to get personal with it, but how beneficial it is to have, that co-partnership in those type of situations and crises.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that it's in the moment crisis, the co-response, it's the follow-up. The main thing is that no matter how you got there, most people didn't choose to get there. There's a lot of factors that we know that play into substance use and mental health and other things. And so, nobody enjoys it, and so when you're in those moments, just having somebody that's really a friend, I kind of call ourselves more of like a peer model. And it's just nice to be able to say, hey, my name is Megan. This is who I am. It's what I'm about. I have some of my own experience. I'm also very clear about, I'm not going to pretend to walk in your shoes because I have, our experiences are different. However, I just know what it's like to feel alone in that process, or how nice it is just to have somebody come alongside and, for no other reason than to just want to be a listening ear or to help you navigate, what steps you might want to take. And it's all voluntary. And guess what? Like, you're in charge of this process. I'm not dictating a plan to you. I'm just saying, here's what's available. What do you want to do? What goals do you have? Like, where do you want to see yourself? And just help, it's really like a coach kind of through that process, more so than it is any kind of, direct guidance. I'm not a clinician. I'm upfront about that. Like, I'm not prescribing something. It's just someone to be along the process.
And now my other question is, and I just want your thoughts on it or expertise. If we see somebody that's, maybe walking down the road or having a little bit of an issue going on, because I've noticed that a couple of times, and I personally don't know what to do in that situation. What do you advise?
I mean, it's really hard to answer that question because of all the different factors, right? I mean, if you can sense that there is a credible safety threat or something, then I necessarily wouldn't advise engaging. There's individuals where, if you want to stop and just have a conversation, just get to know them. Hey, man, what's your name? I saw you walking out here. It's a little cold today or whatever. Is there anything that you need? If you're willing to maybe get a meal or something. I think we need to remember to set aside any preconceived notions that we have. You need to be cognizant enough of what could potentially be dangerous or unpredictable. But I also think that we see the reverse of that a lot, where someone's walking and, they're having a conversation with themselves, or they might be kind of, shouting out some things. They're on a public sidewalk. If they're not bothering anyone, when they're dealing with mental illness or an unstable state, if they're not harming themselves or anyone else, let them be. That's not necessarily one of those situations that you have to engage in or that needs law enforcement, again, you just have to be cognizant and just take a minute. I would say take a minute, reflect. What does it appear that this person's needs might be in this moment? Can I assist? Should I assist? Does anyone else need to assist? That kind of thing. Because it's, it doesn't always require assistance.
And that's great because, it's not really the sense of getting law enforcement out there, just going, how can I help? That's really the notion. And that's great.
And being mindful,
too.
Because we have a lot of people with great intentions. Sometimes we can harm more than help. It's really, I think, take that moment. Don't, understand you're not the savior, and it happens and we all do it. There's time you want to fix. That's something, with my work that I had to do a lot of reframing mindset. A lot of codependency can develop in that situation where you are always putting other needs above your own, then not taking care of yourself. We know what happens when you do that. So there's just things to be cognizant of, but slow down, reflect, and try to really consider the person's needs and the humanity of it too, and how they're going to perceive that. And sometimes helping is not necessarily a good, it just depends.
Absolutely.
It's hard to really give a definitive.
Right.
It's very individualized.
But no, I'm really glad to hear
Yeah.
that, because I think, and if I have that thought, I'm sure maybe a couple of other
Absolutely.
people have that same
Yeah.
question too.
Well, and professionals that are trained, you still walk into every situation analyzing, and you're always making those in the moment decisions that sometimes don't go like you thought they were, because things can be unpredictable. But I still have to do the exact same thing when I'm engaging with someone. I'm constantly thinking about, what am I getting from them as far as their receptiveness? Is my proximity too close? Do they need more space? How are they, receiving what I'm giving? Are they in such a heightened crisis that they're really not able to comprehend what I'm delivering verbally, which is often the case?
Right.
Where are they at in the process? You're constantly, so even trained professionals are doing that in the moment. So an average person that wants to help, it's a lot to think about.
Absolutely.
But, yeah.
Well, and I'm just glad to have your insights on that. That's really beneficial.
Yeah.
If you're just tuning in, you can get more insights on Sacred Spaces of Care and everything they do, from, just being in the community, advocacy, the resources, the education, which is such a huge component of this.
For sure.
Saturday, February the 17th, doors do open at 6:30 p.m. Trivia begins at 7. Now, there is a QR code or website to reserve table?
Yes, you can go on to any of our socials. There's a QR and a link, Google form link
perfect.
there, so that you can grab to register for a table. Yeah.
There you go. Now, you bring your own snacks, but cash bar, because they do a great job over at Sportsman's.
They do.
And it'll be a great night. And all proceeds do go back to Sacred Spaces of Care. Now, what are those proceeds going to be meant for?
We have some projects coming up over the course of this year that are non-grant funded projects. We're putting together some different resources for unhoused in the community. Some of our community training events we want to try to start offering at a larger scale, and some more specified things that have some costs. The CIT grant with the Alton Police Department is going to be up and running soon, that we were working on. And so that's going to allow us to go out and do some community policing efforts. And in that, there may be times when we do engage some individuals that have some immediate essential needs, such as, hunger, with just a meal to be able to have a conversation with them, or, clothing. If we can't use another community partner, just some basic things, bus tokens, we need to be able to purchase those to get them back and forth to appointments and treatments and things like that. So, a lot of the funding coming out of this is going to be those community-based needs that we can fund that don't come through grant funding. So.
Absolutely. Well, Megan, you're always welcome back at any time.
Thank you.
And is there anything else I'm forgetting about?
I don't think so. We have an event, I think it's a little further out though, at the end of March. That one's going to be fun. We partner with Metro East Recovery Council on that one. And so that's going to be another substance use conversation. So, you did a great commercial earlier about substance use. And I just think that to hit on that again, just come out and listen. It is so non-judgmental, just a free space. It's a conversation. It's not, a training where we're coming at you with things. We are educating, but it's just for anybody, whether you're struggling with substance use, whether you don't know if you are. Like maybe, I've been doing this a while. I'm seeing something, like I don't know. Family members that just want to get information, educators who see their students struggling. It's really for everybody just to have that set aside time to talk about what are we seeing and what's going on and how can we, step in.
Absolutely. And that'll be a really beneficial conversation. I highly recommend that if you can make it out over there on the 27th. Again, I always appreciate talking to you, and that you're welcome back at any time. Keep up the great work and give me a call when you're ready to come back on the show and talk some more.
Excited. Thank you so much.
No problem. At 9:48 on this 9th day of February, we'll take a quick break and we'll come back. We'll talk for a couple of minutes and we'll see what trouble I can cause on a Friday morning.
Welcome to Evergreen Place, a community that embodies joyful living, independence, and financial freedom for seniors. If you're looking for a full day of activities or to relax in your apartment, we have you covered. Located on the Alton Memorial Campus. To know us is to love us. Experience the difference at Evergreen Place.
Is it time to buy, sell, or even time to consider a short sale of your property? Meet Lisa Webb, owner of 3rd Street Realty. This local, women-owned, family-operated realty group has over a decade of experience in foreclosures, first-time home buying, and so much more. 3rd Street Realty prides themselves on holding your hand through the entire process. Let their expertise guide you to your dream home. Visit 3rdstrealty.com and start your journey with Lisa Webb today.
Do you need to declutter your space? Time to call me, the Queen of Junk. Since 1993, we have grown to be the leader in residential, commercial, and property management junk removal. At Sparks Junk Removal, we are eco-friendly. We recycle, donate, or repurpose items back into our community. Trash is our last resort to the landfill. Plus, with our all-inclusive service, our crews handle everything from labor to lifting and landfill fees. Give us a call or visit our website, sparksjunkremoval.net, to reclaim your space today.
With over 20 years of experience, Wilson's Tree Service has the expertise to handle all of your tree care needs. Licensed and fully insured, their team of experts are dedicated to providing reliable service. Plus, with a 24-hour emergency service line, Wilson's will always be there for you. Don't risk tackling that timber by yourself. Trust the local professionals at Wilson's Tree Service. Visit treeservicealtonil.org to get started today.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nicello on RiverBender.com.
Here we go, 10:48. Man, flying on by. We're starting to see some snow a little bit. We'll throw that sky cam up and get a look. Time for the All-Star Award. Who gets it today? This individual right here. Made for him. Made for him. This award, perfect. Alrighty. A New York City man caught at the border with a python in his pants, fined and sentenced to probation. Oh my goodness. Here we go. A New York City man who admitted to smuggling 3 Burmese pythons in his pants through the United States-Canadian border. Crossing, was sentenced to on Wednesday to a year of probation and fined $5,000. We got to get a little bit more of this going. Calvin Bautista, 38 years of age, crossed into northern New York with the hidden snakes on a bus from Montreal to New York City. Well, you tried. This happened in 2018. Now, the young adult snakes were hidden in the inner thigh of his pants in snake bags tied to the pants drawstrings. They were discovered by U.S. Custom and Border Protection officers in court documents and a release from the United States Attorney Carla Friedman. The Queens resident purchased the snakes, which were more than $2,500 at a reptile store in Canada. However, importation of Burmese pythons is regulated by an international treaty, and the United States federal regulations listed them as injurious to human beings. The Burmese python is, of course, one of the world's largest snakes and is considered a vulnerable species in native Asia, but an invasive species in Florida where it threatens native animals. Bautista's attorneys, no comment. What a headline. Caught at the border with a python in his pants. You're an all-star. Here we go. What about this one? Armed police stormed a hotel in England on a report of a man armed with a large knife. Uh-oh. However, it was discovered, it turns out it might have just been a Harry Potter wand. The Blaubey police said in a Facebook post that a number of firearm officers responded to a hotel near Edinburgh, Leicester. I know I'm going to get torched. I got torched yesterday on YouTube for botching one of the names. On a report that man was holding a large knife near the elevators, officers located the man and quickly established that it was indeed just a Harry Potter fan with a wand. Thankfully, no harm was caused to any resident, and there was no sign of he who must not be named, the Post said. What about this one? So, a state lawmaker in New Hampshire is promoting a bill that would give the state an official pronunciation for the name of its capital city, Concord. Right? State Rep Eric Gallagher, a Democrat from Concord, appeared before the House Executive Department's Administration Committee on Tuesday to discuss his proposal that an official international phonic alphabet pronunciation for Concord be instated alongside the official state animal, state sport, and state symbols. Let's get his reasonings. Gallagher, whose preferred pronunciation resembles the word conquered, ran into some opposition from Representative Diane Schuette from Pembroke, another Democrat, who asked Gallagher if he had run his proposal past old Yankee folks whose pronunciation of the city is closer to Con-Kid. Can we not figure it out in New Jersey? Oh, my goodness. Okay, I'll tell you, I'm fearful that some of them may be offended if we mandated a special pronunciation that doesn't jibe with their heritage, Schuette said. Gallagher responded that the official pronunciation would only be a symbol, not a mandate. Even though the state fruit is pumpkin, you can still grow other fruits besides pumpkins, which I'm sure our apple goers would appreciate. A heck of a debate. Gallagher admitted his bill addresses a minor issue, but argued it was no less trivial than having an official state fruit. Does this guy realize he's got a re-election coming up? I fought for the pronunciation of Concord. Vote for me again. I'll pass. Hey, out of Amsterdam, a flight from Amsterdam to Detroit was quickly turned around when, well, it wasn't an issue with the plane. It wasn't an issue with the passengers. Well, kind of, sort of. Maggots fell out of an overhead bag onto a passenger on Tuesday, and I would have been all over the news for my outburst. Upon inspection of a nearby overhead bin, flight crew on board Delta DL-133 found a, quote, improperly packed carry-on bag, end quote, that contained rotten fish. Now, I first heard about this across the river over there at the Big 550, but now this has hit UPI, and I got to tell you more. According to a statement from Delta to Fox 2 Detroit and People magazine, man, People's always getting in the mix of stuff. The aircraft returned to the gate, and passengers were placed on the next available flight. Now, Philip Schuette, a Netherlands native who resides in Iowa, told Fox 2 Detroit the woman was freaking out trying to kind of fight off these maggots. Oh, they found out that there was a rotten fish in there. I did see everyone's reaction to the bag being opened, which was just an immediate pinching of the nose. The Delta flight was less than an hour in to its almost 9-hour flight when it had to be turned around. I'm sure that guy or girl who brought the fish is definitely a big fan of everyone on board. I hope that woman's okay. I mean, that's disgusting. Talk about an awful day. It could be worse. Talk about telling a semi-truck to move over a stretch of highway in South Carolina closed for 10 hours when a truck overturned, caught fire, and released more than 35 wandering cows, bovines. The South Carolina Highway Patrol said the truck ran off Interstate 95 in Colton County and overturned between exit 53 and exit 57. Now, the Colton County Fire Rescue said the cabin chassis of the truck caught fire with the rear of the truck hanging over a bridge at mile marker 55, and another part of the truck was submerged in the river. What happened? The driver, listen to this, taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. A car was disabled when it struck debris, but that driver was not injured either. The interstate had to be closed in both directions as crews worked to clean up debris and go on some cow wrangling expenditures. Sheriff's deputies, local ranchers, that's awesome, DNR officers, fire rescue animal services spent most of the afternoon chasing down rogue cows that had made it into near neighborhoods next to the interstate, the CCFR said in a news release. The fire rescue said deputies used drones equipped with thermal imaging cameras to search the swampy areas near the accident and neighboring woods. Photos shared by officers showed cowboys on horseback rounding up and lassoing loose cattle. The roadway was reopened about 10 hours later. I've never seen that episode of Gunsmoke before, but I'm definitely wanting to. All right, that's the All-Star Award today. Now let's take a look at what happened on this date in history, huh? Kind of some interesting stuff. We have a couple of minutes. Let's start off with this. On this date in history, in 1659, the first known check was written for 400 pounds. Now on display at Westminster Abbey, American Charles Wilkes discovers the Shackleton ice shelf in Antarctica on this date in 1840. In 1923, a big day for discoverers, Howard Carter opened up the inner burial chamber of the Egyptian pharaoh King Tut, the tomb, and found the sarcophagus. In 1959, Fidel Castro became the 16th prime minister of Cuba after overthrowing Batista. Also on this date in history, let's go with some music. The Beatles topped the British charts with Please Me, and also on this date in music history, Beatles, George Harrison, John Lennon, and, well, their wives flew to India for transcendental meditation study with yogi, or as a lot of us like to call it, drop an L. Born on this date in history, Henry Wilson was born on this date in 1812, and then celebrity birthday, Sonny Bono, born on this date in 1935. The Weeknd turns 34 today. Ava Max, I don't know who she is, but congratulations on your birthday. Elizabeth Olsen, 35 years old today, and John McEnroe, 65. How about that? Fun facts about today. Abraham Lincoln stops his train at Westfield on his way to Washington to thank 11-year-old Grace Bedell in person for her advice to grow a beard to gain more votes. There's your fun fact about today. Also, some famous divorces on this day. I like this feature. In 1982, actors Lee Majors and Farrah Fawcett divorced. And in 1989, Jane Fonda and activist Tom Hayden separate after 16 years of marriage. Gary Carter died on this date in history in 2012. And then that's about it on this date in history. How about that? Wrapping up smoothly at 10:59. We got a jam-packed week of shows coming up on Monday through Friday next weekend. Well, I hope you join me then. We're out of time today. Enjoy your Friday. Stay warm. Get out of the snow. And, enjoy your weekend. Hang out with me again on Monday. On that note, have a great day. And just try your best to, just stay out of jail.